Hello, this is Firdaus Amir from Cape Technologies, and I welcome you to another episode of HCK, Healthcare Process Management Software. HCK is a new breed of software specially built for modern healthcare processes using very advanced frameworks. The system is a web based, fully open source system and is orchestrated using only the very best of tools of the world, including Java, Unix, and big data technologies for storing, huge volumes of data, and is perfectly scalable. Web 2.0, CSS, Ajax, you name it, it's all there. In this video, I'll show you one of the most important part of the software, the patient management and invoicing, of course. This is where it all starts, and from here it's like a stream of operations and processes, connected everything together. What I mean is that when we create an invoice for patient, it creates something called an order, which will be routed to the medical providers to whom this order is actually intended to, and they will see a brief overview of the order which they have to perform. For example, if the patient invoiced for a consulting service, the consultant will see the order in his or hers dashboard saying that somebody is waiting for her service for the past 10 minutes, in a much user-friendly manner, something like that. And with just click of a button, she can navigate into the consulting screen where she can enter the consulting information like diagnosis and ICD codes and prescriptions and things like that, and she clicks save, right? And she will be taken back to the consulting to the dashboard again, and where she will again see somebody else is doing the waiting part and stuffs like that. Okay, now in this screen, this is where a receptionist lives, right? Whatever activities needed for a receptionist is here, and as you can see, there are currently 5 boxes where each thing is having different functionality. Now currently you cannot see any data, but soon you will see after we make a couple of invoices and things like that, the screen gets filled up. Okay, now I'll just briefly explain what each boxes are. The first box here is the patient search, where you can search for a patient using keywords. Now this keyword is actually pretty smart. It's composed of at least 11 12 units, like first name, last name, nationality, age. So you can decide your combination, like you don't know what exactly to search, and you can something like Google, you can do that kind of searching. And if you want to have an advanced searching where you have more control of what you're searching, can do that too. And here is the insurance policy search, where you have to search for a policy number or something like this one. You can see okay, this policy is active for us, and you can click this one and can see the policy. Okay, this is from Bupa, and yeah, this is, they're having 2 classes defined, and this is the limit, that kind of stuff. Now if you want to do an advanced searching here, you can, if you want to quickly create a policy, that you can do somewhere here. And token numbers is like a listing of token numbers which is currently running for this date. If you are searching for a particular provider name, that also is fine. You can see that particular provider detail. And here you can search for the invoices if you want to cancel an invoice or send a cancellation request to somebody else who is actually responsible for canceling the orders, or if you want to see if this patient is actually invoiced, something like that. You can search by invoice number over here, or if you don't know the invoice number, no problem, you just click here. Here you can see a vast variety of searching filters, like if you know the patient name, that's fine. If you want to search invoices based on some consultant in this particular date range, that's fine. if you want to check for the zero billed invoices, something like that, etc., etc. All this detail you can, you know, you can search. And that's the patient invoice search. And then for quick access, you can use the latest patient grid, where uh, the last patients will be here. The assumption is that these patients are still in the clinic or the facility, so that you can quickly access them and, keep the process going. Right now, okay, I'll start with, first things, right? First things first, and let's create a new patient. Now, as you can see, everything is keyboard shortcut based, right? You can, as you can see, this one, either click new or, press F1, or if you're more friendly with keyboards, you can do that way, or, you can use mouse also. It's up to you. So let's create something like that, something, right? um, Name, age, the date of birth will be calculated accordingly. It's not perfect. If you want to be perfect, go ahead and, create here. 1 second, something is missing there. 25, something like this one. And now go to select the gender, the nationality, let's call it United States. Okay, and this is like a government ID, like SSN or Iqama number, maybe in Saudi, something like this one. And okay, now all these information are mandatory. This is not really mandatory. It depends. For example, if it's an insurance invoice, there are many other details you have to know. You have to, fill in. For example, uh, depends on the configuration. For example, you need, when creating a patient, is government ID and insurance card need to be attached to this patient. You can do that right here, something like this one, right? I'm just selecting something. It doesn't make sense, but still it's fine, right? Okay, this is what I'm selecting. I don't have a form right now with me. Something like this one, and you click save, and you're done, and a new file has been created for this patient. Now that's it. Now this screen you see is the patient dashboard. This is the most important part of the software. Everything related to the patient is right here, right? You can see what is the patient, who is the patient is, and you can also see here, this thing will be there all the time. And then medical facts, this is currently empty. This, not everybody can see every tab. That's more important. For example, medical fact usually is only being seen by the medical providers, like doctors and nurses and other people. you know from a reception standpoint, most important thing people see is the invoices, right? Here you can search for the invoice, and quickly you can see a listing of invoices which already this patient has created in the past. This one, you can change it if you want. If you want to see an older data, you know you can see that, and it's fine. And here you can see the visits by this patient so far in our facility. This is pretty cool. It's like, it will display one visit, and what are the activities performed, what are the prescription done, and many things like that. And messages are like, is like more like an audit log. Whatever happening with this patient, whatever activities has been performed using the system on this patient, will be recorded in this one. On this particular date, a patient has been registered, consulting has been done, a prescription has been created, a lab test has been done, somebody else has modified some detail. Everything will come into this messages, where this is a quick view. You have also an advanced view of this one, where you can search for every detail of a particular incident, where you will need that kind of detail at some point of time. And also the appointment, if this patient is running in an appointment, for a future date or the current date. You can see here this patient, something like this one, and that's about it. And now from here you have buttons on the top. In this button, F1 is basically you can go back to the profile screen and edit it if you want. And invoice is basically you will create a new invoice. This is to create a new appointment for this particular patient. Let's click invoicing, and here it's pretty simple screen at the first you will see, but it's not just like you see. It's pretty complicated if you go inside, but the screen have been designed for simplicity, where this is where most of the job has been done, right? So now, okay, let's create a pretty simple invoice on cash. You can switch right here, as you can see. I hope you can see this. And now it is enabled for cash invoices. You can switch into insurance invoice, where you will be greeted with a different dialog box where you have to enter the insurance policy name. Now this policy names somebody else has to be created. They should be already created this one and then have to come here, right? Then only the patient in the reception room will know this policy is active, for processing inside our facility. Now anyway, let's close this one and go back to cash, and let's create something. Let's create select some doctor here. Okay, the doctor has been selected, and as you can see, an entry has been inserted here. This is like a service, right? For this service, this is the product, and this is if you want to give any discount, you can apply here, and etc etc. If you want to treat this consulting manually as a follow-up consultation, you can just do that one. You don't have to do this because the system will automatically calculate it for you. For example, now we create this invoice, and after 2 days this patient comes again for a follow-up consultation, and you select the consultant right here. This will be automatically a follow-up. Depends on the configuration. If the configuration is saying this particular consulting service has a 30-day follow-up for free, right? That will be here, and this will become completely zero, and that will be free, but still an invoice will be generated and something like that. And that's all. And now if you want to give more discount, something like this one, if it is allowed, it'll be there. Now it's not allowed, so 15 is fine. You can reduce it if you want, that's fine. Oh, let's stick with 15. And now, as you can see, you can by default pay with either cash or card. Now cash is pretty simple, this. And if it's POS, you have to select a POS ID. This POS ID is actually connected to a banking account, so the financial entry in the backend will be posted like from this particular operation. So and so money is required to be collected, and everything will be posted accordingly, including service charges, everything, right? Now let's go back and process like a cash, and that's all. And now you created a cash invoice, as simple as that, right? Now you can see in the screen that this is the token number created for this particular medical provider, and the printing will be done. And the printing is actually pretty cool. It's centralized. It's centralized means the printer is directly connected to the server, and the server will dispatch the printing job, and it'll be pretty fast. It'll go, and inside the printing you can see the token number generated, etc. So this is a simple cash scenario, right? Now as you can see, the screen has some changes now. Our administration screen, here this is the token number running currently, and in the invoice searching you can see a new invoice has been created. If you want to quickly access that invoice, you can go here, but you have to know that once it is created, it's not editable, right? Because a lot of operations has been done. If you want to change something, you have to go to canceling it, or you have to request for cancellation, etc etc. All these things is customizable using security. For example, you don't want to give a cancellation access to your receptionist, but somebody else, somebody with higher authority, is only allowed to do the cancellation. You can just cut these both. You don't have to give this you don't have to give the permission to cancel the invoices to the user. So they will not see this one, but they can see this one. They can request for the cancellation, and when they do this one, the orders which has been created to this medical provider will be suspended. So, and the person who is responsible for canceling will see that this invoice need to be cancelled for some purpose, something like that one. Now, that's a very simple scenario about a cash invoice, right? Now, let's create another patient and go with an insurance based invoicing. It's got more workflows to be covered. So okay, let's create a new patient. Who is this patient? It's somebody famous, Bill Gates. He's 52 years old and male, nationality again United States. For example, if you want to apply a validation for this one, like this is mandatory and it should have at least 10 digits, you can apply interconfiguration, and this will become mandatory. Now this is my test system and it's nothing mandatory right now anyway. Now let's create a new invoice for Bill Gates. Let's go for insurance invoice this time, and let's select something here. This is here. Let's select this one. As you can see, the screen is has more options now, and here you can select which class this particular invoice has to be done. Now we can see from his insurance card that this insurance policy is class C or something like that one. We will have already given the financial details about this class, like 20% deductible and all this kind of detail. And now you have to provide the membership number, the expiry date of the card. This is for extended validity actually. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Let's like this one. And if there is an approval has been done, if we have sent an approval request to the insurance TPA, and they have responded with an approval, there will be a reference number. You can set this one here, and you can quickly see this one. This is a TPA details and policy holder name. And in the notes you can see, if there is any notes, you can see the overall global notes will be inside each class. If you have there some other notes, you can see that one too. And now usual procedures, like let's select the same doctor. Now you can see there are a lot of other computations has been done, which is now the collection amount after all this computation has been cleared, right? Now there are some facility for giving deductible on this amount, but that's not for all. You can actually enable that feature for some people in the receptionist area, and they can actually edit this one if needed. Most likely won't do that, but still you have the facility to do that. Now you desire that okay, this is my friend, and you don't have to collect anything from this person. You can just put discount, and discount will be posted like that, so nothing to collect. Now there's no discount here. You are giving the balance something like this one, khalas, and you post it. Okay, so now you can see the doctor token has been upgraded. Now there are many things regarding these tokens. Tokens are controlled based on the timing schedule and many other advanced configurations. Currently, what I'm showing with the demo is a very simple scenario where the doctor has only one time slot uh, of work in a given day, where you can configure different time schedules, and for each time schedule, if you want to have to start, different, restart the token numbers, you can do that, and different scenarios like that, right? Now, as you can see, there are two um, patients right here. If you want to quickly access them, you can go to them, something like this one. You can go here, you can see all the invoices created. This is an insurance invoice. You can create it, quickly see the detail. If you want to see, go to the invoice, you can just click here. Very simple. You can see all this detail. Alright, so now we know what we're doing, right? When I'm talking about insurance, it's important to see how the policy is being drafted. Now, the Hawk handles insurance in three layers. There will be insurance TPA, and inside the TPA there might be companies, if you want to define it that way, and inside the company there will be insurance policy holders. Inside the policy holders there will be different classes of insurance, and etc, etc. That's how it goes, something like this one. And after you set up that hierarchy, then you can go here, and if you want to add a new policy, you can add here, right? This is the entire policy in the current system. This is my test system, as I said already, and here you can go and fill up the detail, and that's a quick over. I don't want to elaborate more on that one in this video. Now I'll show you how the cancellation everything works, right? Now, if this invoice need to be cancelled, here in this invoice need to be cancelled, you click here. If you have the rights to do that, you can cancel this, or you can refund this. There are some differences between both, right? The difference mainly between cancellation and refunding is that cancellation is basically we are marking this invoice as never happened. It will more like a simulation of deleting this particular event from the system. Some people might opt for that to avoid too much clustering on the journals and everything. Some people don't want to do that. Some people are more accurate in doing what they do, and they want to do a refund. Both will have the similar impact on the financials, where a refund will create a reverse journal inside, right? So this will handle, cancel will handle like there's nothing happened, so you can just reverse just cancel everything, and this will be a reversal operation. Or you can do the other one, depends on the case. Anyway, and now there's a small button here. Here you can see, if you click, performable encounters. Like when you create these encounters, this doctor can perform this, and this not has been performed. If it's performed, this button will not be there, right? It's already done. Why this is important is that if the receptionist want to check whether, okay, now I'll rephrase it. The patient after 5 minutes come back to the receptionist and say that, okay, I want to cancel this invoice or refund this invoice, whatever it is. The receptionist can actually check here whether this invoice has been performed by the doctor. If it is performed, he can say that you're done with it, so sorry, right? Or if it's still, you can do the cancellation if you still, but this is a good information if you in most cases. And then there will be another button here, supporting data. Here you can see the orders generated by this one. The status is still invoiced. If it is already performed, this will become performed, right? and if there are any encounters performed, encounter example in the system, if somebody has done a diagnosis or a lab test or all those kind of uh, activities, we refer as encounter, right? It will be there. And if there are any issue from the warehouse has been issued from this order, from this invoice, it will become here. This is a scenario like, for example, an injection has been, and it's for an injection. Let's call it a Voltaren injection or something like that. If that particular service is linked with multiple inventory items, like, two syringes, one injection, and something like that one, that will be here, right? Based on this particular invoice, this much items has been shipped from the from the warehouse. It's good detail, right? So all those detail you can see from here. If you don't want to see, don't give the access. It's pretty simple as that. And now about the printing, the software supports two way of getting this particular invoice out of the system. One is the downloading. You can either download a duplicate copy. So when you click that one, a PDF will be generated for you, and now the PDF will be having a duplicate marking here. You can also have an original invoice printed with original here, but you need additional permission to do that. If you give the permission, they will have another another button here called download original copy. Patient duplicate copy it's actually different from the previous one. What this means is that when you create an insurance invoice, there will be two different kind of invoice normally practiced. It's one for the insurance company for claiming, the other one for the patient. So in the patient, all these insurance details will not be there, like all this kind of stuff, but only the the deductible amount will be mentioned in that invoice. So if you want to give an insurance invoice copy to the patient, you can go for this one. So that's downloading, and or you can issue for a printing. So this will print accordingly directly to your to the network printer. It will go there. And as you can see, this buttons for navigation. You can click this one. You can navigate between invoices and something like that. There's a small help button here. You can see what are the shortcuts are supported. So if you want to be smart and do things quickly with the keyboard, this is where the place you have to look, right? This thing, this is a clean and simple presentation of a quick overview of the patient. Like the patient name, this is linkable to the patient's dashboard, right? So here's the patient dashboard. You can quickly go there, and this is the patient record number. The record number is first part is the company name. This is the year. This is the sequence number. So after, when it becomes 15, this will restart from 1. If you don't want to do that, change the configuration. It will not do that. This pattern is actually configurable in the system. If you want to have a different way of different file number or record number, whatever it is, you can have some control over that. And age, nationality, and the ID number. And you have support for additionally two record numbers, which is separate from this one. This you can use for legacy paperworks and things like that, to arrange your old papers, paper-based medical records. You can use this one. You can disable this feature anytime you want, and here you can see these two. It's the invoice number. You can customize this format based on your company requirement. And the status of the invoice, it's paid and closed, means it's done, right? And here you can add a note on this patient. uh, some notes: SR50 pending from this patient. That's it. Now this icon becomes like a bell, right? It's a notification for you. So next time you when this patient comes, select that one. As you can see, this will be there. Click there. Okay, now you collect this amount, click save, done. Now you can have whatever. This is actually very useful in most scenarios. So that's more about invoicing, and uh, there are more different features. Like it's got very smart decision making abilities inside. uh, for example, um, um, an automatic follow-up computation when this patient comes next time, uh, for the same service. You can set the follow-up numbers, the number of days. So when this patient comes, inside that days count, you know the system can automatically compute into follow-up. And then inside the insurance, if the patient comes again, once this patient has come in one insurance card, and the next time it comes, if the insurance card is not expired, the entire details will be pre-loaded for this guy. So for example, as you can see, now his policy number, maybe you didn't notice it, uh, this patient comes again and you're going for invoicing. You don't have to type anything now. It's now the policy number is set, insurance class is set, everything is there. All you have to do is click this button, right? You click the button, and it will notify you as there's a follow-up service available. You want to do as a follow-up or a regular. Okay,